412, page 413, page 414, page 415, page 416, page 417, page 418, page 419, page 420, page 421, page 422, page 423, page 424, page 425, page 426, page 427, page 428, page 429, page 430, page 431, page 432, page 433, page 434, page 435, page 436, page 437, page 438, page 439, page 440, page 441, page 442, page 443, page 444, page 445, page 446, page 447, page 448, page 449, page 450, page 451, page 452, page 453, page 454, page 455, page 456, page 457, page 458, page 459, page 460, page 461, page 462, page 463, page 464, page 465, page 466, page 467, page 468, page 469, page 470, page 471, page 472, page 473, page 474, page 477, 75, page 476, page 477, page 478, page 479, page 480, page 481, page 482, page 483, page 484, page 485, page 486, page 487, page 488, page 489, page 490, page 491, page 492, page 493, page 494, page 495, page 496, page 497, page 498, page 499, page 500, page 501, page 502, page 503, page 504, page 505, page 506, page 507, page 508, page 509, page 510, page 511, page 512, page 513, page 514, page 515, page 516, page 517, page 518, page 519, page 520. Distinguished Senator George Thompson Sekibo, CON JP.
Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, I am Senator George Thompson Sekibo, with all the other compliments as they are spoken by my senior president. Mr. President, I rise to move that the votes and proceedings.
You are raising your hand. Okay. What is it? Just hold on, please, distinguished.
Thank you, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues. Aliu Sabi Abdullahi, Niger North. We made correction on clause 104 because of the earlier change of name from the midstream gas infrastructure to the midstream and downstream infrastructure fund. And if you check clause 104, 104. Okay. Okay. All right.
Are you okay? Distinguished Senator George Thompson Sekibo, CON JP.
Mr. Senate President, my distinguished colleagues, I am Senator George Thompson Sekibo. I rise to move that the votes and proceedings of Thursday, the 1st July 2001 be approved. I so move.
Thank you. Distinguished Senator Ibrahim Abdullah Gobir, please, can you second?
Yes, Your Excellency, my name is Ibrahim Abdullah Gobo. I second the motion that the votes and proceedings of Thursday, 1st July 2021 be approved.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion that the votes and proceedings of Thursday, 1st day of July 2021 be approved, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have. The votes and proceedings of Thursday, 1st day of July 2021 is hereby approved. Announcement. Membership of Conference Committee on the just passed Petroleum Industry Bill. Senate Leader, Senator Abdullahi Yahaya, Chairman. Senator Sabo Nokudu, Northwest. Senator Albert Basi, South-South. Senator Mohamed Njuma Goje, Northeast. Senator Michael Opeyemi Bamidele, Southwest. Senator Stella Odwa, Southeast. And Senator Gabriel Suswam, North Central. The conference committee will meet with our counterparts in the House. The House will also announce the composition of the conference committee, and we hope that the conference committee will swing into action immediately so that we are able to have the final document of the PIB, which will transmit for a presidential assent. So we expect our delegation here under the leadership of the Senate leader to engage with our colleagues in the House of Representatives. A letter from Senator Yahaya Abdullahi, the Senate leader. This is to inform all APC senators that there will be a meeting of the APC caucus after plenary today, 6 July 2021, in Hearing Room 1 at the White House National Assembly Complex. Sorry? Are you sure about that? No, we have minority parties, so at least give them that credit. We have minority parties. This is another letter from Senator Professor Robert Ajayi Borofes, OON, the Aswaju of Okoko Land, Deputy Majority Leader, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Your Excellency, urgent meeting of Southwest governors with the senators and honorable members from the Southwest. Dear distinguished senators and honorable members in the House, we are directed by the leadership of the Southwest Caucus in the National Assembly to communicate the invitation of Southwest governors to an urgent meeting of the governors with distinguished senators and honorable members of the House of Representatives as follows. Tuesday, 6 July 2021, that is today, time 7 p.m., venue, Ocean Hall, Transcorp Hilton, Maitama, Abuja. Agenda. PIB, 2, Electoral Act Amendment Bill, 3, AOB. Senator Michael Opeyemi Bamidele, Honorable Olufemi Fakeye, signed Senator Professor Robert Ajayi Borofes, OON. Birthday announcement. The 3rd of July was the birthday of the only comrade in this chamber, very distinguished Senator Abba Moro, on behalf no, Senator Abba Moro is a comrade. On behalf of the Senate, I wish our distinguished colleague a happy birthday, long life, prosperity, and many more years of service to our fatherland. Congratulations to the one and only comrade in the Senate. The others who claim to be comrades have retired actually from comradeship long time. Any petitions? Petitions, Senator Patrick Ayo Akinyelure.
Thank you, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues. My name remains Senator Ayo Akinyelure, representing Ondo Central, Mr. President. Presentation of petition not laid but referred to the Committee on Ethics from the Office of the President of the Senate. The Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petition, in line with Order 41(1) and 3, which is to present to the Senate some petition yet to be laid from the Office of the President of the Senate in order to officially place the petition in the public domain through the floor of the Senate and for the votes and proceedings to capture the approval for referral. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, please find below a summary of petition received from the Office of the President of the Senate. 1. Evangelist Linus Ukachukwu against the Honorable Minister of FCT. Petition against the Honorable Minister of FCT on disobedience of court judgment on suit number FCT/HC/CV/2235/2010. Number 2, petition from Comrade Imiabe Xavier Oscar and 4 others against the Honorable Minister of Niger Delta Affairs. Petition on plans by the Honorable Minister of Niger Delta Affairs to sabotage the inauguration of the Screen and Confirmed Niger Delta Development Commission NDDC board. 3, Taiwo Simon against the Nigerian Police Force. Passionate appeal for the reinstatement of CPL Ojo Mackenzie with force number 106124 into the Nigerian Police Force. Number 4, David John Bature against the acting chairman Fiscal Responsibility Commission. Petition against the acting chairman Fiscal Responsibility Commission and cartel, syndicate, and their fraudulent and maladministration practices. Finally, Mr. President, number 5, Olalekan Oladipo Esquire against the chairman of Nigerian Law Reform Commission. Flagrant breach of Nigerian Law Reform Commission Act and brazen usurpation of power by the chairman of the commission. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, to the best of my knowledge, none of the above petitions is seeking judicial remedy. I therefore move, Mr. President, to seek the indulgence of the Senate to lay the above petition before the Senate for official referral to the committee for further legislative action.
Thank you, Chairman. Since none of the petitioners is seeking any judicial remedy, you may lay the petitions, please. The petitions are hereby referred to the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges, and Public Petitions to report back within 4 weeks. Any more petitions? Leader of the Senate. Point of order, Senator Tolu Odebi.
Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues, I'm Senator Tolu Odebi, representing Ogun West. Mr. President, I rise under Order 42 and 52, and if you permit, I read. The matter of urgent public importance, the matter for discussion shall, if possible, refer to the President of the Senate before commencement of the day's sitting, and the President of the Senate shall refuse to allow the claim unless he is satisfied that the matter is definite and urgent. If the claim is allowed by the President of the Senate and the leave of the Senate is given by at least 1/5 of all the senators, the matter shall stand over till the next legislative day. And 52, notice shall be dispensed with in the case of a motion or in respect of any other proceeding for which notice is required, except with the consent of the President of the Senate and the general assent of the Senator present.
You may give us the synopsis.
Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues, today I present a motion on the urgent need for the Senate to investigate the continued illegal encroachment into Nigeria's territory and the illegal arrest of Nigerians by the security officials from Benin Republic. Mr. President, recall the numerous reports of alleged encroachments into Nigeria's territory by authorities of our country's neighbor, the Republic of Benin, which has become increasingly alarming and disturbing. Recall also that the reports revealed by Nigeria's major news outlets, like the Punch newspaper, published on the 22nd of April 2021, and another one published on the 5th of July 2021, bears testament to these facts. Note that according to a report by Channels TV station posted on the 2nd of July 2021, it was reported that gendarmes from the Republic of Benin crossed illegally into Nigeria's territory to carry out the arrest of one Pastor Kuligab and Mr. Benjamin Amosu, his interpreter, who are residents of Ibokofi village in Yewa North local government area of Ogun State, for demanding the reversal of the land encroachment by the government of the Republic of Benin. Note that the arrest of these Nigerians is based on the allegations that they are resisting encroachment into Nigerian land through Ibokovi village in the Yewa North local government area of Ogun State. Further note that these allegations of encroachment have been also flayed by the government of the state, as published in a release from the state government calling on the federal government to immediately secure the release of Nigerian citizens currently languishing in detention in the Republic of Benin as a result of their resistance to the continued encroachment. Aware that the continuous unchecked ingress and egress of persons at the different entry points and borders between Nigeria and the Republic of Benin, the country's closest neighbor, are likely the result of the porosity of our country's borders. Mr. President, further aware that the said Pastor Kuligab and Mr. Benjamin Amosu were allegedly arrested in Nigeria in a Gestapo style and shipped to prison in Ajase, Port Novo area of Benin Republic without an order of a competent court of jurisdiction in Nigeria. Disturbed that this very sad event is in contradiction to the mutually beneficial bilateral relationship that is currently in place between both countries and is a huge deviation from the provisions of Section C6 of the Extradition Act Cap E25 laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 2004, which clearly state the process in matters of extradition. Further disturbed that this action by the government and agents of the Republic of Benin are capable of causing huge unrest and can lead to mass action against citizens residing in both countries. Concerned that if these actions are allegedly committed by the government and agents of the Republic of Benin is not urgent.
Distinguished, you assume we have approved of it. We need to put the question whether or not. So you will continue from where you have stopped so that we save time. But I will still have to put the question. We will validate what you read after. No, it's okay. So distinguished colleagues, because he has come under orders 42 and 52, he needs he has to have the leave of at least 1/5 of senators. So those in favor that he continues to present his motion, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Continue from where you stopped. Just listen, leave Mpigi alone. You will hear.
further disturbed that this action by the government and agents of the Republic of Benin are capable of causing huge unrest and can lead to mass action against citizens residing in both countries. The Senate accordingly resolves to condemn an act of unlawful encroachment and the unlawful arrest of Nigerians by the authorities of the Republic of Benin. 2, call on the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs to, in conjunction with relevant agencies, initiate a fact-finding mission to investigate the true state of things at its nation's borders with the Republic of Benin. And 3, direct the Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Federal Ministry of Justice, and the National Border Commission to urgently put in place the necessary mechanism that will provide lasting solution to this issue. I so move. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Rogers Okorocha.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I rise to second the motion before these red chambers. And if Mr. President will allow me, I can make my comments, I will appreciate.
You may proceed.
Mr. President, this motion is very apt and very timely, given the fact that Nigerians are being treated anyhow by nations of this world. And I think it's high time this nation must rise and protect their citizens. Every citizen of Nigeria must be treated with dignity and respect by any nation in this world. Nigeria is not a pushover, and Nigeria is not an ordinary country. And what we do not understand, Mr. President, is anytime our citizens are treated in a manner that suggests like they are nobody, it has a direct impact and insult on this country called Nigeria. I think as a people, as a government, as senators, we must condemn any act by any nation or any country against any citizen of this country. They should treat Nigerians with respect. And that is what calls for patriotism. This is how we can command patriotism from our citizens. If they feel that their nation, their fatherland can protect them against any attack by any member of any national or any country. I take for instance, Mr. President, America will not take it kindly with any country that insults their citizens. America can be ready to go to battle, go to war for an insult meted on any of their citizens. Nigeria must follow suit, because an insult to one Nigeria is an insult to the entire nation. So this idea of arrest by a country like Benin, and we're keeping quiet and they keep doing that from time to time, is uncalled for. So I support this motion by my colleague here to say that we should quickly, you Mr. Senate President, should call their counterpart or your colleague there and caution him not to take Nigerians for granted. No one should take this nation for granted. Citizens of Nigerians should be treated as citizens of Nigeria. Thank you.
Senator Bikule Amosu.
Thank you, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues. Let me join Senator Okorocha to support the motion by Senator Tolu Odebi. Mr. President, I think this is something that we need to quickly arrest. This is not the first time that we are going to be having this experience. I remember and recollect that even in this Senate, I've had cause, not just only me, to bring to fore the relationship that we have, Nigeria as a country, with Republic of Benin. I don't know what is happening with Cameroon and other neighboring countries. The Republic of Benin, as this is without any intention to belittle them, as tiny as they are, if I can use that word, every now and again you will see them harassing the great Nigeria, the big brother. And that is why we are shouting, we've been shouting, we will continue to do that, about even the Tongeji Island, which is in Nigeria territory. As we speak today, except for what maybe the Nigerian government is doing now, Tongeji Island will go the way of Bakassi Island. Time and again, you will see them coming into the Nigerian territory to arrest Nigerians, and they will be taken to their country, and nothing will happen. Indeed, they will be released at their whims and caprices whenever they wish to. It will not be about what we say or what we do not say. So, Mr. President, in this instance, one pastor which lives in, I think, Yewa North, in Ogun State, have been arrested. I don't know if it's only him, maybe some others were arrested alongside with him. And as we speak now, he has not been released. So I will want to suggest, Mr. President, that we can engage with our Foreign Affairs Committee on Foreign Affairs, our Committee on Security and Intelligence, and I think our Committee on Interior, so that maybe they can interface with the respective ministry and agencies to see how we can put an end to these insults. Nigeria is not a country that Republic of Benin, or even any country at that, will be pushing around in this continent of Africa. Mr. President, without sounding repetitive, I will want to say that we should not just overlook this, we should give it the necessary attention that it deserves. Because failing that, they will do more and more and more again. It's like we are giving them an inch and they are already taking miles, not just a mile. So, Mr. President, I so support. I want to say that we should swing into action and do the necessary things to ensure that our citizens that are being detained by the Republic of Benin are immediately released. Thank you, Mr. President.
Distinguished colleagues, let's go to the prayers. Prayer 1. Condemn any act of unlawful encroachment and unlawful arrest of Nigerians by authorities of the Republic of Benin. Those in favor of this prayer say aye. Those against any, the ayes have it. Prayer 2. Call on the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs to, in conjunction with the relevant agencies, initiate a fact-finding mission to investigate the true state of things at the nation's borders with the Republic of Benin. Amendment.
Sir, Mr. President, my highly respected colleagues, I would like to...
Please, distinguished colleagues, let's take our seats, please.
I would like to appeal to my distinguished colleague, Senator Tolu Odebi, to consider dropping this prayer so that we can be able to allow the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Distinguished colleagues, please. Distinguished colleagues, Chief Whip, Senator Alorijika, please, you should take your seats, please.
Senator Tolu Odebi, to allow the first prayer, to be consummated, so that we can allow the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to see to the intervention, and then report back to the committee. To report back to the Committee on Foreign Affairs. If after their intervention something else develops, then we can talk about asking our committee to carry out visitations to the affected areas.
Distinguished colleagues, maybe if I understand what you are saying, is not to make prayer 1 consummate because we have already passed prayer 1. Maybe prayer 3, if that is the essence, that our committee engages the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and other relevant agencies to find out what they have done, and then we take the next appropriate action based on their investigation from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Is that correct?
That's what I'm saying.
So that will be, that needs to be seconded, but we need to find out from the mover of the motion first. Distinguished Senator Tolu Odebi, did you hear what the leader said?
Yeah, that's fine, Mr. President, that's fine.
Okay. So I need a seconder that we stand down prayer 2 and prayer 3 will now be prayer 2. I need a seconder. Senator Solomon Adiola Olamelekon.
Thank you, Mr. President. Very distinguished colleague. Adiola Solomon Olamelekon representing Lagos will arise to move the motion that we stand down prayer 2 and make prayer 3 to be prayer 2. I so move.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of this amendment say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. So prayer 3 now is prayer 2. Direct the Federal Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Federal Minister of Justice and National Border Commission to urgently put in place, the committee leader. Now the committee will not be only Foreign Affairs, because if you engage Border Commission and Justice, you need those committees to also be, the corresponding committees to be involved. So maybe you need to amend it properly. Maybe direct our committees on Foreign Affairs, Justice, and states and local government. That's in charge of border, National Border Commission, isn't it? Okay. So direct the committees on Foreign Affairs, Justice, and states and local governments to engage, to urgently engage with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Federal Ministry of Justice, and the National Border Commission to investigate the incident. Is that okay? Okay, those in favor of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Thank you very much, distinguished colleagues. Leader of the Senate. Point of order, Senator George Thompson Sekibo.
Mr. President, Order 14, (15) and 16, and Order 46, 47, 1, 4, and 5. Mr. President, if you permit me, Mr. President, on privileges, Order 14, 15, and 16. 14. Privileges are the right enjoyed by the Senate collectively and by the members of the Senate individually conferred by the Legislative Houses Powers and Privileges Act, Cap 208, Laws of the Federation 1990, and other statutes or by practice, precedent, usage, and custom. B. Whenever a matter of privilege arises, it shall be taken up immediately. C. In cases where adequate provision is not made in the standing order, the Senate shall by resolution regulate its proceedings. Order 15. Any senator arising at any time to speak upon a matter of privilege suddenly arising, and they shall be prepared to move without notice a motion declaring that a contempt or breach of privilege has been committed. or referring the matter to the Committee on Ethics and Privileges. But if the matter is raised in Committee of the Whole Senate, the chairman shall leave the chair to report progress. 16. When a matter of privilege at any time arises, the President shall, until the matter is disposed of, or unless the debate on the motion thereon is adjourned, suspend the consideration and decision of every other question, provided that precedence over other business shall not be given to any motion if, in the opinion of the President of the Senate, a prima facie case of breach of privilege has not been made out or the matter has not been raised at the earliest possible time. Order 46. Motions and amendments. Unless the rules otherwise direct, notice shall be given of any motion, amendment which is proposed to be moved, with the exception of the following. A motion amendment made or offered in Senate of the whole committee, a motion for the adjournment of the Senate or of any debate, a motion that report of a select committee be referred to committee of the whole, a motion for the withdrawal of strangers, a motion for the suspension of senators, a motion arising out of the business of the day made immediately after that business is disposed of and before any fresh matter is entered upon, an amendment to a motion which has been moved without notice. Order 16. 1. Notice must be written and signed. Order 14. The President of the Senate shall forward such notice of motion to the Rules and Business Committee, which shall circle it on the other paper. 4. The Rules and Business Committee shall examine the substance of all motions referred to it, and if approved by the schedule on the other paper for deliberation within 7 days after the publication of the schedule. Adjourn 5. 6. All notice of amendment to motions must be given to the President of the Senate not later than 5 days after the publication of the schedule. The President of the Senate shall cause such amendment be forwarded to the Rules and Business Committee. Mr. Senate President, my problem is this. Naturally, we all know that we need notices for every business of the Senate. And you will recall, the Rules and Business Committee, for the past 3, 4, 5 months or more, is never sending either by electronic copy or by hard copy any motion, even publication of bills in gazettes. And of course, you know, it's affecting many of us. Maybe it's not affecting my colleagues, but it's affecting me because I can't just come here and then see something on the other paper that will be taken today, and I'm seeing it now. Naturally, I'm supposed to research, put my facts together before debate or deliberation. But now I see it here when I come in here. So the chances of really probing to such matters become very, very, very limited. So I am strongly pushing that you direct the chairman, Rules and Business or Rules and Business Committee to send us notices on every matter. Otherwise, it will be a difficult thing for us to come and deliberately debate effectively for the benefit of all Nigerians. Nigerians are watching us on our debates, especially when we're on live television, and I think we need to enrich our debate properly. So I'm appealing when it's affecting on my input in this chamber. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, distinguished Senator Sakibo, for the advice, but you didn't have to go through all this rigmarole of standing orders, some contradicting, because it's a privilege, we have to listen. But the others you went through, we didn't have to because you didn't discuss anything with me. So I will separate and be magnanimous to say that we are just talking about your privilege, not the other things, because you didn't discuss these things with me. But I agree with you, we can do better with notice paper. Of course, notice papers may change depending on the prevailing circumstances, but it will help us do better. So, Chairman, Committee on Rules and Business, please take note. The Chairman is not here, the Vice Chairman, who is the Senate leader, Senate Leader, Vice Chairman, Senate Leader, take note, please. All right.
Mr. President, we have discussed this separately with Senator Sekibo, and he didn't inform me that he's bringing this as an order on the floor. When he raised this issue, I agreed with him 100% that we need to do this and we need to improve, and that we have been operating the way we did because of several circumstances and several challenges that we are facing. But I promised him that we are going to get our act better and do better and try to do a lot of these things properly. So based on that, I even invited my chairman for us to set up a meeting so that we can sit down a meeting and work out the means and modalities for which we can bring these salutary challenges and salutary reforms, that will make our work and the work of all our colleagues much easier. So I appreciate what you have said, and I appreciate all that, and I assure you that something will be done. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Leader. You appreciated some of what he said. So I will rule you. I sustained your point of order on your privileges. And of course, you have escaped with others. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, the first business of the day is the presentation of a House bill standing in my name on the Orthopedic Hospitals Management Board Act Amendment Bill 2021. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished Senator, Orthopedic Hospitals Management Board Act Amendment Bill 2021, HB 1284, first reading.
Orthopedic Hospitals Management Board Act Amendment Bill 2021, HB 1284, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, the second business of the day is the presentation of a bill in the name of distinguished Senator Suleiman Abdukari on the Code of Conduct and Anti-Corruption Tribunal Bill 2021. Mr. President, if we wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished Senators, Code of Conduct and Anti-Corruption Tribunal Bill 2021, SB 726, first reading.
Code of Conduct and Anti-Corruption Tribunal Bill 2021, SB 726, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, the third business of the day is the presentation of a bill saying in the name of distinguished Senator Stephen Adi Ode on the Institute of Agriculture and Technology, Bekwara, Establishment Bill 2021. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished Senators, Institute of Agriculture and Technology, Bekwara, Establishment Bill 2021, SB 765, first reading.
Institute of Agriculture and Technology, Bekwara, Establishment Bill 2021, SB 765, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, the fourth business of the day is the presentation of a bill standing in the name of His Excellency Distinguished Senator Roches Anayo Okorocha on the Historical Sites Preservation and Protection Bill 2021. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished Senators, Historical Sites and Preservation Protection Bill 2021, SB 766, first reading.
Historical Sites and Preservation Protection Bill 2021, SB 766, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, the fifth business of the day is the presentation of a bill standing in the name of distinguished Senator Ibikule Amosun on the Counterfeit Goods Bill 2021. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished Senators, Counterfeit Goods Bill 2021, SB 768, first reading.
Counterfeit Goods Bill 2021, SB 768, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, the sixth business of the day is the presentation of a report of the Committee on Appropriations on the Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2021. Mr. President, you need to invite distinguished Senator Barau Jibrin, Chairman of the Appropriations Committee, to move the motion for the Senate to receive the report.
Distinguished Senator Barau Jibrin, Kano North.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am Senator Barau Jibrin. I represent Kano North. Mr. President, I stand to move that this August Senate do receive the report of the Committee on Appropriations on the Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2021 SB 754. Mr. President, I so move.
Distinguished Senator Sandy Ono. Okay, you will second the motion moved by Senator Barau Jibrin to receive the report of the Committee on Appropriations. Distinguished colleagues, those in favor that the Senate do receive the report of the Committee on Appropriations on the Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2021, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Chairman, you may lead the report, please. Leader of the Senate, before we go to the next, please let's ensure that copies are made, are produced of this report. Chairman, that we have copies so that we consider the report tomorrow. Thank you. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, the first order of the day is the presentation and consideration of the report of the Committee on Establishment and Public Service Matters on the Chartered Institute of Directors of Nigeria Establishment Bill 2021. The distinguished senators will recall that the bill was referred to the committee on Tuesday, 4th May 2021. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the distinguished Senator Ibrahim Shekarau, Chairman of the committee, to move the motion for the presentation and consideration of the report.
Distinguished Senator Ibrahim Shekarau, Sardauna Kano, Kano Central.
Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues. Mr. President, I rise to move that the Senate do receive and consider the report of the Senate Committee on Establishment and Public Service Matters on a bill for an act to establish the Chartered Institute of Directors of Nigeria to provide professional training to directors and promote effective governance, public accountability, professional efficiency, and for related matters. I so submit, Mr. President.
Distinguished Senator T.O. Oji, Channel Global.
Your Excellency, my distinguished colleagues, I rise to move for the second the motion as ably moved by my colleague. I so second.
Thank you very much. Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion that the Senate do receive and consider the report of the Committee on Establishment and Public Service on the Chartered Institute of Directors of Nigeria Establishment Bill 2021, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. You may lead the report, Chairman. Chairman, you may present the report.
Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues, the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, at its sitting on Tuesday, 4th May 2021, considered for the second reading the bill for an act to establish the Chartered Institute of Directors of Nigeria to provide professional training to directors and promote effective governance, public accountability, professional efficiency, and for related matters. The bill, Mr. President, was referred to the Senate Committee on Establishment and Public Service and was mandated to report within 2 weeks. The bill, Chartered Institute of Directors of Nigeria, sponsored by distinguished Senator Abdullahi Yahya Abubakar, was read for the first time on Wednesday, 28th April 2021, and the second reading was on Tuesday, 4th May 2021. Mr. President, the objectives of the bill are: 1, to promote the practice of directorship in public and private sectors in challenging and supportive environment. 2, to provide a well-educated directors with critical thinking and creative problem-solving skills. 3, to prepare knowledgeable, skilled, culturally competent, compassionate, and specialist corporate governance practitioners. And 4, to collaborate with the individuals, organizations, and agencies whose interest is in building the human capacity of Nigeria's directors and corporate governance with the aim of developing professional and technical know-how and improve productivity. And 5, to promote high level of ethical standards in the practice of the profession and skills that shall be attained by persons seeking to qualify as members of the Institute. And lastly, Mr. President, to ensure that its members maintain reputable and high standard of conduct expected of any professional practice. After the bill was referred to the committee, Mr. President, it adopted the following methodologies in carrying out its assignment. 1, the committee held several meetings to consider the proposed bill and to map out best strategies in carrying out the assignment within the time given. And 2, the committee based its report on the public hearing held on the 8th Senate on Tuesday, the 6th of December 2016. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, you may recall that the Chartered Institute of Directors Bill was exhaustively discussed in both chambers of the National Assembly in the 8th National Assembly, but was not assented to by the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The reason being due to late passage and inability to correct observations raised by the Corporate Affairs Commission before the expiration of the last National 8th Assembly. Those observations have been taken care of, Mr. President, by the committee following the engagement it had with the Corporate Affairs Commission and the Institute. Consequently, Mr. President, The Committee on Establishment and Public Service Matters, after due consideration of the reports of the bill, hereby recommends as follows: that the Senate do consider and pass the bill for an act to establish the Chartered Institute of Directors of Nigeria to provide professional training to directors and promote effective governance, public accountability, professional efficiency, and for related matters. I so move, Mr. President.
Any comments? Leader of the Senate Committee of the Whole to consider the report.
Mr. President, I rise to move a motion for this Senate to resolve into the Constitutive of the Whole to consider this report. I so move.
Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion that the Senate do resolve into Committee of the Whole to consider the report, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Distinguished colleagues, this is not a controversial bill. It's very straightforward and has 27 clauses. Those in favor that clause 1, clause 2, clause 3, and clause 4 stand part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Those in favor that clause 5, Minority Leader, Minority Whip.
Yes, in clause 5, Your Excellency, distinguished colleagues, the institute shall have its head office in Nigeria, number one, where in Nigeria, and branch offices across the Federation. Yes, fantastic, Gongolada. So we are in Nigeria, and then you can say 36 states and FCT.
Chairman, please, how do you want it?
Abuja, and branch offices across the other states of the Federation. I think that should be. Yeah, I think we need to specify.
I said, can we be more categorical to say either in states or zonal or regional offices?
I think adding zonal will be appropriate. To have branch offices in the geopolitical zones.
Is reading, the institute shall have its head office in Abuja in Nigeria and branch offices across the Federation. So we are saying, can we say?
It should be in each state of the Federation. In each state of the Federation. Yeah. Or the capital of each state in the Federation.
So the amendment by the DSP is that the branch offices shall be or will be, is it shall or will be, shall be established in the capital of each state of the federation. So those in favor of that clause 5 as amended stands part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Please, Secretary, take note of this amendment. Clause 6, clause 7, clause 8, clause 9, clause 9. Senator Ajibola Bashiru Surajuddin.
I'm Surajuddin Ajibola Bashiru, also Central Senatorial District. Thank you, Mr. President. Section 9, subsection 3 reads that if a vacancy exists in the office of the President, the Vice President shall act in the stead for the unexpired term of his office. In the absence of the first Vice President, the second Vice President shall act, and in the absence of all of them, the court shall fill the vacancy in accordance with the provisions of this bill. Is it vacancy or vacancies? That is the question, sir. Because now, if the Vice President is not there, Vice President will take charge. If the second President, if all of them are not there, then you now say the shall fill the vacancies. Is it vacancies or vacancy?
I think, I'm not a lawyer, of course, everyone knows that, and my thinking is, we are still referring to the office of the President. No, we are referring to the office of the President. The vacancy in the office of the President is when you don't have the first Vice President, you don't have the second Vice President, all of them don't exist, then you go and look for someone to fill the office of the President. I think that is the, so it should be vacancy. Because we're not talking about the vacancies of Vice President first and second. So is that okay? Deputy Leader.
Thank you, sir. I'm of the opinion that in this bill, wherever we have president, we should specifically say president of the institute across the board. In the bill, sir, wherever we have the word president, we should have president of the institute. Well, maybe it's an interpretation. Okay, sir.
I want to, and those of us who are lawyers here, the President and two Vice Presidents, do we need to say first and second Vice President, or we just leave it two Vice Presidents? Yes, can we say the President and Vice President 1 and Vice President 2? Because we are referring to, is that okay among the lawyers? Yes. Okay, those in favor of clauses 6, 7, 8, and 9 stand part as amended, stand part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Those in favor that those clauses 10 to 14 stand part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 15, register of members. Clause 16, clause 17, clause 18, and clause 19. Those in favor that clauses 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19 stand part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. Those in favor that those clauses stand part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 25, clause 26, we have come to the interpretation. Deputy Leader. Clause 27. Those in favor that those clauses stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that the interpretation stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that the short title stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that the schedules 1 to 2 stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those who are at the explanatory memorandum stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those who are at the long title stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, I rise to move a motion for the chair to report progress. I so move.
Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor that the chair reports progress say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Distinguished colleagues, the Senate in the Committee of the Whole considered the report of the Committee on Establishment and Public Service on the Chartered Institute of Directors of Nigeria Establishment Bill 2021 and approved as follows. Long title as recommended. Clauses 1, 2, 3, 4 as recommended. Clause 5 as amended. Clauses 6, 7, and 8 as recommended. Clause 9 as amended. Clauses 10 to 25 as recommended. The interpretation as recommended. Short title as recommended. Schedules as recommended. Explanatory memorandum as recommended. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, I rise to move a motion that this bill be read the third time. I so move.
Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion that this bill be now read the third time say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act established the Chartered Institute of Directors of Nigeria to serve as a regulatory body for persons serving as directors in both public and private sectors to determine the standards of knowledge and skills to be attained by persons seeking to become directors, to make provisions for continuous training and development of the directors, to ensure professionalism and promote corporate governance values by directors, and for related matters, SB 495, third reading.
A bill for an act to establish the Chartered Institute of Directors of Nigeria to serve as a regulatory body for persons serving as directors in both public and private sectors, to determine the standards of knowledge and skills to be attained by persons seeking to become directors, to make provision for continuous training and development of the directors, to ensure professionalism and promote corporate governance values by directors, and for related matters. Third reading taken and the bill is passed. Thank you very much, distinguished colleagues. Leader of the Senate. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, the second order of the day is the presentation and consideration of the report of the Committee on Tertiary Education and Tech Fund on the Nigerian French Language Village Badagry Establishment, etc. Bill 2021. Distinguished senators will recall that the bill was referred to the committee on Tuesday, 8 December 2020. Mr. President, you may wish to invite distinguished Senator Ahmed Babaketa, Chairman of the committee, to move the motion for the presentation and consideration of the report. Is it not?
Is there anybody to present the report? Senator Professor Nora Ladi Dadut.
Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues, I rise to move a motion that the Senate do receive and consider the report of the Committee on Tertiary Institutions and Third Fund on the Nigeria French Language Village, Badagry. Bill 2021 SB 483. I so move, Mr. President.
Distinguished colleagues, no, I need a seconder, please. Yeah, distinguished Professor Sandy Ono.
Distinguished colleagues, I rise to support the motion as ably moved by my colleague. Thank you, Mr. President.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion that the Senate do receive and consider the report of the Committee on Tertiary Institutions and Third Fund on the Nigeria French Language Village Badagry Establishment Bill 2021, say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. You may lead the report, Professor. Prof, we are waiting for you, please. You may present the report.
Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues, the report of the Senate.
Prof, you may go to findings. You don't have to read all of it. All right, thank you.
Distinguished colleagues, with the permission of the President, I will just give the findings on page 3 of the report. And I read, to achieve both the generic and specific objectives of the bill, the committee has considered the views expressed by stakeholders at the public hearing, both oral and written memoranda, and subsequently makes the following findings. 1, the stakeholders at the arena of the public hearing unanimously subscribed to the content of the draft bill, while reinvigorating the fact that the bill is of immense national and international imperative as an enabler for the undergraduate students in French language to speed a mandatory 1-year academic calendar on language immersion program in a Francophone setting as prerequisite leading to the award of Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Education degree in French with simulation process to achieve linguistic, emotional, and social cultural fundamentals that are indispensable and required for communicative competence and general development of French language. 2, the establishment of the French language village in Badagry, semi-axis of Lagos State, as an inter-university center for French studies will no doubt provide the required institutional framework to promote both regional and global integration with potentials for attracting funding from international donor agencies in promotion of French language, thereby encouraging language development and innovative skills with multiplier effects on manpower needs of not only Nigeria, but also the neighboring Francophone countries and the world over. Distinguished colleagues, in addition, legislation in support of the Nigeria French language village in Lagos State will serve as a vehicle to enable facilitation of exchange of academic programs that are technologically necessary and demand in fostering transnational bilingualism to ensure national and regional integration, as well support international cooperation in promotion of French language. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the first findings says the knowledge and skills that would be acquired by the graduates from the establishment of the French language village Badagry, semi-axis of Lagos State, will go a long way in expanding and deepening their horizon, not only in acquisition of French language skills, but also general language development. Hence, the need for the Senate to consider and approve this legislative proposal for the benefit of humanity. Generally, the bill has received unflinching support and overwhelming social solidarity of the participants in this legislative engagement. In addition to...
Chief Whip, the chamber is noisy, please. Continue, please.
In addition to the evidence established in both written and oral presentations made by the stakeholders and resource persons at the corridor of powers of the legislature, and as well as the arena of the public hearing. Recommendations. The Senate Committee on Tertiary Institutions and Debt Fund, having carefully considered same, hereby recommends as follows: that the Senate do consider and pass the bill to provide for the establishment of the Nigeria French Language Village as an inter-university center for French studies and for other matters connected therewith, 2021, SB 483, as recommended. On behalf of the chairman and members of the committee, I wish to use this opportunity to thank the President of the Senate and distinguished colleagues for the opportunity to serve in this capacity and to humbly request the Senate to pass this bill. I so move. Thank you.
Any comments? Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, I rise to move a motion for the Senate to resolve into the Committee of the Whole to consider this report.
Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion that the Senate do resolve into Committee of the Whole to consider the report, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Distinguished colleagues, this is a bill establishing Nigeria French Village. So it's a very straightforward bill and has 32 clauses. Clause 1 on page 1. Clause 2. Clause 3. Clause 4 and clause 5. Those in favor that clauses 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Clause 6, functions of the council and its finance and general purposes committee. Clause 7. Clause 8. Clause 9. And clause 10. Those in favor that clauses 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Clause 11, powers of French village to make statutes. Clause 12. Clause 13. Clause 14. And clause 15, the visitor. Those in favor that those clauses stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Clause 16, power of visitor to decide meaning of statutes. Clause 17, clause 18, clause 19, and clause 20. Those in favor that clauses 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20 stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Clause 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. Those in favor that clauses 21, 22, 23, and 24, 25 stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Clause 26, clause 27, 28, 29, and 30. Those in favor that those clauses stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Clause 31 and clause 32. Those in favor that those two clauses stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that the interpretation stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that the short title stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that the schedules 1, 2, and 3 stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that the explanatory memorandum stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that the long title stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, I rise to move a motion for the chair to report progress. I so move.
Thank you, Mr. President. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion that the Senate reverse to plenary for the chair to report progress say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. The Senate and the Committee of the Whole considered the report of the Committee on Tertiary Institutions and Third Fund on the Nigeria French Language Village Establishment Bill 2021 and approved as follows. Long title as recommended, clauses 1 to 30 as recommended, interpretation as recommended, short title as recommended, schedules 1 and 2 as recommended, explanatory memorandum as recommended. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? Thank you. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, I rise to a motion that this bill be read the third time. I so move.
The Minority Leader.
Mr. President, I so second.
Those in favor of the motion that this bill be now read the third time say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the Nigeria French Language Village as an inter-university center for French studies and other matters connected therewith, 2021, SB 483, third reading.
A bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the Nigeria French Language Village as an inter-university center for French studies and other matters connected therewith, 2021, third reading taken, and the bill is passed. Congratulations, Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, the third order of the day is the second reading of the Donkey Slaughter Regulation and Export Certification Bill 2021. The distinguished senators will recall that the bill was read the first time in this chamber on Wednesday, 30th September 2020. Mr. President, with your permission, I move that the bill be read the second time.
Minority Leader. Leader, continue. You may proceed, please.
Point of order, Mr. President.
Point of order, Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is a constitutional point of order. Mr. President, ordinarily, I would expect that as a Parliament, we should look at the Constitution before certain things are looked at here.
We can't hear you.
Section 4, second schedule of the Constitution, has the legislative powers. Part 1, exclusive legislative.
About, please, so that our colleagues follow you.
Exclusive legislative list, Mr. President. I can read it down, but I think anybody can go through it. There are 68 items in the exclusive legislative list. Furthermore, on the Part 2 concurrent legislative list, we also have all the items, but the basic item that is involved here is Section 17. Now, in the first part, in the exclusive legislative list, there is nothing that has to do with animals, animal husbandry, livestock. Nothing. In the second part, in the concurrent legislative list, Section 17, I can read. It says, the National Assembly may make laws for the Federation or any part thereof, A, health, safety, and welfare of persons employed to work in factories, offices, and other premises. And I can go direct to 1720. I mean the page 133 for the concurrent legislative list, and page 130 for the exclusive legislative list. The essence of my point of order is that we are to make laws exclusively for what is determined in the Constitution. We do not make laws for residual matters that are left for states and local governments, as the case may be. Livestock and matters of that nature are in the residual list because they are not expressly provided for in the Constitution. I so submit.
I respond. What?
Senator Sabi Ali Abdullahi, Deputy Chief Whip.
Thank you, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues. I'm Aliu Sabi Abdullahi. I represent Niger North Senatorial District. Mr. President, let me thank very profoundly the leader for bringing this bill. I'm a veterinarian by training. And I will say also that when I was in Federal Ministry of Agriculture, the issue of donkey going into extinction in Nigeria was something raised, discussed, and approved in 2004 at the National Council of Agriculture and Rural Development meeting in Sokoto State. The concern, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, is every country must be concerned about its flora and fauna, because the ecosystem is designed in such a manner that the balance we are enjoying today is driven by the diversity of your flora and fauna. Today, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, as it is, this subject matter, which the minority leader is referring to, in the same constitution, the federal government is also given the right to look at research. Breeding is a research work. And this bill is therefore looking at when you don't want something to go into extinction, then you are talking about conservation management. Conservation management, whether in situ or ex situ, that is in the field or in the laboratory, is a function of research. The federal government also has right in this same constitution for research. And so, Mr. President, what we are saying simply is that suddenly from somewhere, some people have suddenly realized the value of the skin of donkey. And the population of donkey in the north, because donkeys are found mostly in the drier parts of any country. And they are used for so many things, for drought power, for farm power, and the like. And so the point we are saying is, I'm aware, we have done the studies in Gombe State. And in Gombe State, with due respect, we found people coming from Akwa Ibom to buy large population of donkey. And we interviewed them and saw that, yes, there is a value chain. We are saying, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, that for us, this bill, as we see it, is something this country needs. And I think we should support it, because whenever you are talking about...
No, we have not come to the point of discussing the bill, whether to support it or not. It's simply questioning, and your explanation, I think, is apt.
Yes.
Senator Basiru Surajidin Ajibola. Somebody's mic is on.
Come and use this one. Come and use this one.
Don't worry, I'm APC to the call. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I'm Surajuddin Ajibola Bashiru. I represent also Central Senatorial District. I rise to speak in support of the profound point of order, constitutional point of order raised by the minority leader. Is in line with the position I've canvassed severally here, even though by majority have been overruled. But for record purposes, I still want to restate the fact that the subject matter is desirable, is necessary, does not automatically confer on the federal legislative arm legislative competence to be do so. Section 1, subsection 3 of our constitution is very clear as to superiority provision, that any act or law contrary to the provision of the constitution is to the extent of that inconsistency null and void unto variance. And the basis of our existence is the constitution. The basis of our power is in section 4 of the constitution. We make clearly to give the National Assembly 3 areas of subject matter. 1, exclusive legislative list as listed in part 1 of the 2nd schedule of the constitution. And a part, and I use that word advisedly, a part of the concurrent list. When we talk about concurrent list, there appear to be a misconception that the fact that a subject matter is listed on concurrent list, the federal government has the power to make law. No, there is a bifurcation as to even when a matter is mentioned. For instance, archives, it has to do with a specific subject matter. The same thing here.
The third area that the National Assembly can make law are specific specific provision conferring legislative competence on the National Assembly. But by Section 4, subsection 7 of our Constitution, any other matter not so listed in the exclusive list and to which concurrent list does not confer National Assembly power are matter for legislative competence of the State Assembly. This matter has been litigated up to the Supreme Court in the case of Attorney General of Lagos State and Attorney General of Federation, when issue was in case whether the National Urban Regional Planning Law Decree that was transmitted to be an existing law by Section 3318 of the Constitution is valid. The Supreme Court said the question of whether regulating urban and regional planning is desirous or not is not the issue. But looking at the structure of our Constitution, when it comes to physical planning, is a residual matter and therefore come within the competence of the state legislature. I want to say that the argument of whether a cattle or a donkey is going to extinction is beyond the point. The question is, as of today, on the state of our Constitution, National Assembly, by the Constitution that all of us sworn to uphold, does not have the competence. Thank you, Mr. President.
Well, distinguished colleagues, I have listened to the arguments. Now, my understanding and ruling. What we are talking about is concerning the donkey, not the donkey for commercial purposes, but the extinction of the donkey. And I believe that we could legislate on this like any other livestock if we feel that will disproportionately destroy our ecosystem. Secondly, even if we are looking at the economic value of the donkey, not in terms of selling it, but in terms of keeping the environment balanced, I believe that we have the jurisdiction to legislate on that. And based on our Standing Orders 25H, which gives me the chance donated by you to interpret the rules, I rule that we can go ahead and take this bill. That is my ruling. Leader of the Senate.
President, we are looking at this issue from an existential and environmental and ecological and species preservation side. We are not looking at it from any other.
Leader, just go ahead and read this one. We have passed that stage.
I am delighted to lead the debate on this very important bill, which seeks to regulate the slaughter of donkeys, establish the breeding and ranching of donkeys through the export certification value chain to mitigate the extinction of donkeys given their aesthetic, ecological, educational, historical, recreational, scientific value to the Nigerian nation. The bill will further complement the import and export of raw animal skins and hides, especially donkey hides, which are currently on the custom prohibition list. You will recall that this bill was read the first time on Wednesday, 30th September 2020. While cattle has received tremendous attention by the government over the years through the National Cattle, Beef and Dairy Breeding Programs, the donkey value chain has not received such attention. In fact, the donkey predicament has deteriorated. There is no program in place to improve donkey breeding in a practical approach to increasing the national donkey population. The slaughter of the donkey had become an attractive business nationwide, not for the donkey meat, which is an inconsequential product of donkey slaughter, but the donkey hides, which is a lucrative export product. The actual meat of choice in the horse meat, for those who indulge in it, the horse hide is not exported, as the major focus of the donkey slaughter is for the export of the hide, which is the premium product for export. This bill is not a ban on donkey slaughtering, as it will drive the illegal slaughter and export underground to the detriment of government regulation and the attendant benefit that government will derive from its proper regulation through increased employment opportunities, revenue generation, provision of social amenities, improved sanitary conditions of the slaughter and processing facilities, and the organized export trade through the Nigerian Agricultural Quarantine Services, export certification value chain. The likes of Kenya, Tanzania, Egypt, and Pakistan have regulated donkey businesses in their countries, and it is contributing to the national GDP. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, this bill therefore seeks to achieve the following objectives. 1, to declare the donkey as an endangered species, which as a result of indiscriminate slaughtering for the purpose of harvesting its skin has greatly depleted the national herd of the animal. 2, to make Nigeria derive utmost benefit from the donkey hide export business that is worth millions of dollars by regulation instead of outright ban of the business that will compel the value chain players to go underground and ultimately increase the smuggling of the product due to the huge demand for the product in the Far Eastern countries, especially China. Provide opportunities for reasonable donkey breeding that should therefore, for those who wish to go into the business, be able to follow laid down procedures and regulations for the value chain operation. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the House of Representatives has already passed a similar bill, which I strongly believe is intended to prevent the indiscriminate slaughter of the donkeys and encourage the breeding and ranching of donkeys to ensure the restocking of the national donkey herd, eventually increasing the donkey population and eliminating the threats of its extinction. I believe that if this bill passes the second reading, an opportunity will be provided for the two approaches to donkey protection to be harmonized into a single law that protects and preserves the species for generations to come. The ultimate aim is to ensure the classification of donkeys as endangered species, and I am of the firm view that we should have a holistic and sustainable approach to the donkey predicament as provided for in this bill. Respected colleagues, my distinguished colleagues, I urge you in the name of God to support the prompt passage of this bill for the record or for the second reading to help make a difference in view of the harnessing the inherent economic benefit for this country and for preserving the species of this animal. Some of us grew up with that animal when we were small kids. I so submit, Mr. President.
Leader, this is the first time I heard you say you ask us in the name of God to save the donkey. Distinguished Senator Ibrahim Yahya Olurogbe.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues. I rise to support the passage of this bill. Mr. President, I'm in line with your ruling. What is being considered here are multiple factors. One, protection of animal all over the world now is like protection of also human being. And I think laws are made for us to be able to ensure that our heart planet is maintained and protected. When any species is being threatened to be extincted, it will be our responsibility as a parliament to ensure that we use our God-given power to protect such species. Secondly, in doing this, we are not only protecting such animals, but we are also protecting ourselves, because by protecting our planet, by protecting our heart, we are protecting the life of the generations to come. But for the current generation as well, as stated by the lead debate, there are economic values that will be added in the actions we are being called to take. It is towards this end that I urge, and that I support this bill, and I urge that our colleagues do support the second reading, and that we consider it passionately and pass it into law for the benefit of the current and future generation. I so support, Mr. President.
Deputy Senate Leader. Deputy Senate Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Robert Boroke, representing Adjournment. I rise to support this bill and plead with my colleagues to support it for second reading. The camel is one of the rare animals we have in this country. Donkey, sorry. It's one of the rare animals we have in this country. And the disruption of equilibrium in the system is very, very dangerous. We may not be able to predict the consequence now. So it is better for us to do everything, not only the donkey or camel, but any animal that we have. What we are witnessing in the Niger Delta is a very serious one. Now that most of the flora there are being destroyed. So it is my position that everything should be done to make sure that we preserve this animal. Also, Mr. President, this animal is known to be very, very resistant to drought. Therefore, there will be some genetic significance. We have not exploited the gene pool of this animal, which we can exploit for medical purposes in future. So there are so many reasons that we need to preserve this animal. I so support that this bill will be read the second time. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Abdullahi Ibrahim Gobir.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, distinguished colleagues. It is important to let people know the importance of donkeys in our own society, particularly in the hinterland, that is the northern north of Nigeria. The donkeys are used for, one, farming. They are used also for transportation. And of course, some people are using that for meat, but these are the only Chinese that we discovered. Because very recently, we have discovered that most of the donkeys that are slaughtered are actually slaughtered by the Chinese. And then they are also exporting them outside the country. You will go to the market and discover that they will carry about 200 to 300 donkeys and then take them outside. Immediately they move outside, they slaughter them and then take the meat in trucks and then actually clean them and then take them. But the most important actually is the skin, because the skin is very strong, very powerful, and is also used almost everywhere. The skin is being used as, for making boxes, for making all these iPad cases, and so many other things. So I think it's important if we can protect this one and begin to breed it for commercial purposes by Nigeria. I think it's very good. So I therefore support this bill. It's very important. And I want everybody to look at it carefully and then support it. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Distinguished colleagues, is there anybody against the bill? Those in favor that this bill be now read the second time, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to regulate the slaughter of donkeys and establish the breeding and rancing of donkeys through the export certificate value chain to mitigate the extinction of donkeys and for related matters 2021 SB 496 second reading.
A bill for an act to regulate the slaughter of donkeys and establish the breeding and ranching of donkeys throughout the export certificate value chain to mitigate the extinction of donkeys and for related matters 2021 second reading, and the bill is referred to the Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development to report back within 2 weeks. Thank you very much, distinguished colleagues. I want to reiterate that the debate was largely on the extinction, and this extinction is what this Senate is concerned about, because that affects the ecosystem, that destabilizes the balance. Thank you very much. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, the fourth order of the day is the second reading of the Ports and Harbours Bill 2021. The distinguished senator will recall that the bill was read the first time in this distinguished chamber on Tuesday, 2nd June 2020. Mr. President, you may wish to invite distinguished Senator Muhammad Anju Magoje to move the motion for the bill to be read the second time.
Distinguished Senator Muhammad Anju Magoje, Gombe Central.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am Muhammad Anju Magoje, representing Gombe Central. I move that this Senate I move that the Senate read this bill for the second time. The bill that seeks to repeal the Nigerian Port Authority Act Cap 126 11 and 2000 and to establish the Nigerian Ports and Harbours Authority. I so move.
You may proceed with debate, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, you will recall that this bill was an executive bill in the 8th National Assembly, but the process was not concluded before the end of that assembly, hence its introduction. The bill was read for the first time in this hallowed chamber on Tuesday, 2nd June 2020. The purposes of this bill are: A, provide an appropriate institutional framework for the ownership, management, and development of ports and harbors. B, ensure the integrity, efficiency, and safety of ports based on the principles of accountability, competition, fairness, and transparency. C, encourage private sector participation in the provision of services and port infrastructure. And D, promote and safeguard Nigeria's competitiveness and trade objectives. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, you may wish to know that this is a global trend. As, for example, our neighbor Ghana has since established its own version of Ports and Harbors Authority, and the authority has embarked on reforms which has tremendously enhanced trade facilitation within the West African sub-region. This is made possible through the electronic data interchange system, the automation of the ports, the electronic surveillance system, the deployment of technology in cargo handling, various expansion works, and overall security of the Tema port. This bill seeks to repeal the Nigerian Port Authority Act, Cap 126, 11 2004, number 47, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, and to reenact the Nigerian Port Authority and Harbor Authority, the Nigerian Ports and Harbor Authority. The enactment of this very important bill into law will transform this critical sector of the economy, as well as promote internal and international trade. It will give the authority regulatory powers to manage and develop ports and harbors in Nigeria by providing adequate and enabling environment for the private sector to operate as against the requirement in the Principal Act, enabling the authority to provide services as an operator. This bill is also aimed at promoting efficiency, productivity, and quality of services, as well as to bring in competitiveness. It also throws open port services to private sector participation, and as well promote the following: increase seaport capacity and productivity, reduce congestion at the ship-to-shore interface, reduce city congestion, lower environmental impact, improved asset utilization for the port, road, and railway transport providers, improved transport productivity, intermodal capacity, and lower transport costs, improved hinterland access, enhanced competition between rail and road transport, and improved land use planning. In conclusion, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I am optimistic, however, that in a few years from now, considering enormous socio-economic benefit realizable in the nation by development of the ports and harbors, more funds will be accruing into the coffers of the government, especially now that we are moving away from mono-sectoral to multi-sectoral economy. This, I believe, the authority, in partnership with the private sector, will provide in accordance with the provisions of this bill. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I wish to state that there is no financial implication to this bill. All the operational structures are already in place, as the authority is taking over from the existing Nigerian Ports Authority. I therefore call on you, my respected colleagues, to give this bill the support it deserves. Thank you, Mr. President.
Distinguished Senator Surajuddin Ajibola Basiru, Oshun Central.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think this time around my speaker worked. I am Dr. Surajuddin Ajibola Basiru. I represent people of Oshun Central Senatorial District. I stand to be in support of this motion and for the bill to go to second reading. And I say that by virtue of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, combined reading of Section 4 with the second schedule, Part 1, Item 36D, this bill is within the ambit and framework of competence of the National Assembly. I also know that by way of when it is ultimately being referred to the committee, we appear to gloss over the fact that state authorities don't have the power to also create ports. Because the language of section or paragraph 36D is that maritime shipping and navigation, including such ports as may be declared by the National Assembly to be federal ports, including the constitution and powers of port authorities for federal ports. So I'll be advising the sponsor of the bill that it is very important to couch necessary provision such that the language of section 36B, paragraph 36B of the part 1 of the second schedule will be captured. But talking about the philosophy under the bill, we cannot underplay the need for an efficient port for the purpose of galvanizing our economy. Nigeria is a maritime state and has a lot of potential in generating revenue, employment, and economic development through an efficient port system. The purpose of the bill, as clearly articulated, is very germane, particularly in the area of ensuring integrity, efficiency, and safety of the port. Part of the thing we also need to take into cognizance is that with Nigeria now being part of the AFTA, we need to have an efficient maritime system so that we can be able to capitalize on the benefits of that. And there's also a need to expand our port. We cannot, as a maritime state, leave the resources that we have in terms of access to the ocean through several outlets and not develop these ports. So I believe this bill very apt, and there should be given necessary expeditious consideration. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Matthew Rogide.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I am Senator Matthew Urogide. I represent Edo South. Mr. President, I rise to give support to this bill and to commend the sponsor of this bill, Senator Goje. Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, my support is stemmed from the fact that, number one, this bill was considered in the 8th Assembly, the 8th Senate, and was almost at the point of passage before we wound out that session. Number two, Mr. President, you can see that this bill is even more in nomenclature because we had it in existence, but the word harbor is now being added just to be in tandem with present-day realities. This bill predominantly is to enhance the economy of our country and two, for us to be in tandem with international best practices. I do not believe that we need to belabor the issues connected with this bill. At this point in time in our history, we believe we should be on the highway of development like other countries. So I still support this bill. Thank you.
Senator Abubakar Kyari.
Thank you, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues. My name is Abubakar Kyari, Senator representing Borno North. I rise to support this important bill. Like the previous speaker has said, the bill is mainly change of name and also the enlargement of activity. The inclusion of the name harbor means a harbor is an area of the sea or the coast where ships may moor in shelter, especially from rough waters, by piers, jetties, and other artificial structures. Now, the present consideration that we have as MPA, Nigerian Ports Authority, restricts the authority in managing and operating as a regulator at the port. But with the inclusion of the name harbor means give them more wider coverage on the coast. And I think that is where when you go to, in fact, places like Lagos and other areas, you will see ships mooring along the coast, not actually jetting or berthing in the ports. So the MPA should have operating authority and regulation of those ships in the coastal areas. So I second and support this bill. Thank you.
Anybody against the bill? Those in favor that this bill be now read the second time, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to repeal the Nigerian Ports Authority Act, Cap 126, laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and to establish the Nigerian Ports and Harbour Authority to provide for the ownership, management, and development of the ports and harbors and for related matters 2021 SB 432, second reading.
A bill for an act to repeal the Nigerian Ports Authority Act, Cap 126, laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and to establish the Nigerian Ports and Harbors Authority to provide for the ownership, management, and development of ports and harbors and for related matters 2021, second reading taken, and the bill is referred to the Committee on Marine Transport to report by within 4 weeks. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, the fifth order of the day is the second reading of the Federal University of Technology, Akure, Teaching Hospital Reconstruction and Boards, etc. Act, Cap number 10, 1985, Amendment Bill 2021. Distinguished senators will recall that the bill was read the first time in this distinguished chamber on Tuesday, 18 February 2021. Mr. President, you may wish to invite distinguished Senator Patrick Ayo Akinyelure to move the motion for the bill to be read the second time.
Distinguished Senator Ayo Akinyelure.
Thank you, Mr. President. More distinguished colleagues, my name remains Senator Ayo Akinyelure, representing Ondo Central. Mr. President, I rise to move that a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of a teaching hospital for the Federal University of Technology, Akure, and of a management board for the hospital, and for the other matters connected there to 2021, SB 638, be read the second time. I am here to provide the lead debate, Mr. President. Thank you.
You may proceed.
Distinguished colleagues, a lead debate on the University of Teaching Hospitals Establishment and Reconstruction of Board, etc., Act number 101985, Amendment Bill 2021 SB 638, Protocols. Mr. President, distinguished senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, permit me to lead this debate on the general principle of this important bill, the University Teaching Hospitals, Reconstruction of Board, etc., Act number 101985, Amendment Bill 2021. This bill was read for the first time on the floor of this hallowed chamber on 18 February 2021. The objective of this bill is to amend the University Teaching Hospitals, Reconstruction of a Board, etc., Act number 10 of 1995, in this bill referred to as the Principal Act, to include an additional teaching hospital, the Federal University of Technology Akure Teaching Hospital, thereby giving full recognition to the teaching hospital sought to be included in the Principal Act through this bill. In particular, the bill seeks to amend the first schedule to the Principal Act by A, inserting after the existing item O, new item P, to read P, the Federal University of Technology Akure Teaching Hospital. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, it is worthy of note that the Federal University of Technology Akure, in the year 2010, in conjunction with the Nigerian Medical Council, drafted a curriculum to the NUC, that is National University Commission, for the takeoff of FUTA, School of Health Sciences and Biomedical Technology, which thereafter commenced the admission of students in 2015 to 2016 academic session. Following which the first set of the students in the anatomy and physiology graduated in 2018-2019 academic session, while students in the biomedical technology are currently preparing for clinical program. Furthermore, Mr. President, the university, with the approval of NUC, has equally commenced admission into a full program, leading to the award of Bachelors of Medical Medicine and Surgery, MBBS. And as such, the university will need a modern teaching hospital to facilitate the students' medical experiences and thereafter to the next stage of the study, which is medical college. Mr. President, it is further essential to note that the proposed amendment, when passed, will complete all the required legislative enactment to bring the Federal University of Technology Akure Teaching Hospital into full operation. Financial implication. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I wish to state that in compliance with Order 773 of the Senate Standing Rule, Senate Standing Orders 2015 as amended, this bill, when passed, will have no immediate financial burden on the federal government treasury. And the Federal University of Technology Akure has signed memorandum of understanding with the University of Medical Sciences, Ondo, and the Federal Medical Center for facilities for the immediate takeoff of the proposed teaching hospital of the Federal University of Technology Akure and its management. While the frontline community have started working with the Federal University of Technology Akure on the physical infrastructure development at the hospital permanent site in Akure. I therefore urge, Mr. President, and my distinguished colleagues, to support this bill to be read the second time. I so move, Mr. President.
The Deputy Senate Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Robert Borofis, representing Ondo North Senatorial District. I rise to support this bill, that the University Teaching Hospital bill be amended to include the teaching hospital in Akure. Mr. President, Ondo State is one of the few states in this country without a teaching hospital. And it is something we desire in the state. The foundations have been laid because we have both the academic infrastructure and the physical infrastructure in the state. And therefore, it is very easy for us to upgrade what is in existence to a full-fledged teaching hospital. I do not see any extra financial implication for the approval of this bill, because this teaching hospital is going to operate within the ambit of the Federal University of Technology, Akure. For this simple reason, Mr. President and my colleagues, I want to plead that this bill be approved for second reading. Thank you, Mr. President.
Is anybody against the bill? Those in favor that this bill be now read a second time, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to amend the University Teaching Hospitals Reconstitution of Boards etc. Act Cap number 101985 and for related matters 2021 SB 638 second reading.
A bill for an act to amend the University Teaching Hospitals Reconstitution of Boards etc. Act Cap number 101985 and for related matters 2021 second reading taken, and the bill is referred to the Committee on Health, Secondary and Tertiary to report back within 4 weeks. Leader of the Senate.
Thank you, Mr. President. The sixth order of the day in the second reading on Federal Colleges of Education Act 1998 repeal and reenactment bill 2021. The distinguished senator will recall that the bill was read the first time in this distinguished chamber on Thursday, 15th October 2020. Mr. President, you may wish to invite distinguished Senator Ahmed Babakaita to move the motion for the Senate to move the motion for the bill to be read the second time.
Senator
His deputy
Leader
Senator Dadu.
No, Senator Ayo.
Oh, Senator Ayo Akinlure. Okay. So,
Distinguished Senator Ayo Akinlure.
Thank you, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues. I rise to move that a bill for an act to repeal the Federal College of Education Act 1998 and to reenact the Federal College of Education and for other matters connected there with 2020 SB 531. I rise, Mr. President, to lead the debate on this bill.
You may proceed.
SB 531. Mr. President, my esteemed colleagues, I rise to lead the debate on the bill for an act to repeal the Federal College of Education Act 1986 and reenact the Federal Colleges of Education and other matters connected with 2021. More distinguished colleagues, you will recall that this bill was read for the first time on the 15th of October 2020. The bill seeks to establish the Federal College of Education listed in Schedule 1 to the Act. The functions of each college, among other things, are 1. To provide full-time courses of teaching, instructions and training in technology, applied sciences, commerce, arts, social sciences, humanities, law, and management. Carry out research in the development and adaptation of techniques as the Council may from time to time determine. Engage in community services as may be appropriate. Mr. President, most respected colleagues, in 2018, study on restructuring Nigerian higher education, College of Education for Sustainable Development, Olusegun, Adewale, and Adigun, 2018, while assessing the goals of colleges of education in Nigeria, found that College of Education have not been able to achieve optimally close to an average. Problem bewildering, the colleges range from political, financial, as well as personal issues. Result of these challenges include low quality output, poor state of infrastructure, poor international competitiveness, among others. Consequently, Mr. President, this bill is aimed at achieving the 3 R's: reconstruct, restructure, and rebuild the nation. Nation's College of Federal Colleges of Education. My distinguished colleagues, the main ideas of this bill is to provide for the appointment of provost to be the chief executive of each college, principal officers and other members of staff, including other provisions relating to the discipline of students, finances, pensions of staff, retirement age, and supplementary matter. The existing laws require amendment as most provisions are archaic. The act being repealed is archaic as it contains some items that are not in tandem with the current realities as reflected in the 1999 Constitution as amended. For instance, there is a Federal College of Education, Yola, which is reading Gongola State in the existing act. But Gongola is no longer a state known to law in Nigeria. Some colleges of education possess the required manpower and infrastructure and have since started awarding higher degrees in affiliation with universities. For instance, the capacity of College of Education to award higher degrees is no longer in doubt. College of Education Abeokuta, in affiliation with other universities, have graduated 85 PhD holders and 120 holders of a master's degree. Similarly, Federal College of Education Zaria has graduated 137 PhD and 388 master's degree holders. In addition to Federal College of Education, Albert Ikoku Ibori had passed out 251 PhD and 301 master's degree candidates. Federal College of Education Castina graduated 55 PhD, graduated 55 and 174 and master's degree holders respectively. To sum it all, approximately, Federal College of Education in Nigeria, as of today, can boast of 1,723 PhD and 4,293 master's degree graduates from colleges of education in affiliation with various universities in Nigeria on the average. That has exemplified their capacity to offer higher degrees in addition to the infrastructure used by affiliated universities to offer degrees in conjunction with colleges of education in Nigeria. The bill is proposing the award of higher national certificate of education degrees that will be equivalent to higher degrees being awarded by universities. Mr. President, most respected distinguished colleagues, based on Order 77.3 of our rules, this bill to regime the legal instrument guiding the administration and operation of the Federal College of Education in Nigeria does not have any financial implication. I therefore urge Mr. President and most colleagues to support this bill for second reading. I so move.
Senator Fadahusi.
Thank you, Mr. President. I support my distinguished colleagues. I support this bill. I've been an advocate of changing all the teacher training colleges that have been existing for a long time to federal colleges of education so that the standard of education at the primary level can be upgraded like all other advanced countries. This bill, if it's fully implemented or is approved, then we will have a lot of teachers in our primary schools. Today, in my own village, in my own primary school, we have 2 teachers, 1 headmaster and 1 other teacher. It's the same thing all over the federation. So if this bill is approved and all the colleges of education are established, in the next few years, automatically you will see a lot of improvement in our educational standards. Just of recent, the JAMB level, particularly those people that scaled through, was less than 2% because of the poor teaching services rendered by all those unprofessional teachers. The colleges of education should be improved, should be established in almost all the senatorial districts in the country. That's about 109. It will produce a lot of teachers. Instead of all the private teaching, private schools taking over from federal level. At this juncture, I support this bill. Thank you, Mr. President.
Is anybody against the bill? Distinguished colleagues, those in favor that this bill be now read a second time, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to repeal the Federal College of Education Act 1986 and to enact the Federal Colleges of Education and for other related matters connected therewith 2021 SB 531, second reading.
A bill for an act to repeal the Federal Colleges of Education Act 1986 and to reenact the Federal Colleges of Education and for other matters connected therewith 2021, second reading taken, and the bill is referred to the Committee on Tertiary Institutions and Third Fund to report back within 4 weeks. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, the 7th order of the day are House bills for concurrence, as listed in the order paper. The distinguished senators will recall that these bills were read the first time in this distinguished chamber on Wednesday, 14th October 2020, Tuesday, 1st June 2021, Wednesday, 1st July 2020, Tuesday, 20th April 2021, respectively. Mr. President, for the simple nature of these bills, and also to preserve and enhance inter-chamber reciprocity, I will use a single debate on these bills. With your permission, sir.
Where are the copies of the lead debate? Where are they? Have you distributed? Okay, leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. The first of the bills that we are passing to is the Federal College of Agriculture, Kirikasama, Jigawa State Establishment Bill 2021, House Bill 382. The second is Orthopedic Hospitals Management Board Act, Amendment Bill 2021, House Bill 1284. The third is Chartered Institute of Public Administration of Nigeria, Establishment Bill 2021, House Bill 329. The fourth is Nigerian Film Commission Bill 2021, House Bill 334. And the fifth is Federal College of Education Special, Bill Establishment Bill 2021, House Bill 169. The Federal College of Agriculture, Kirikasamba, Jigawa State Establishment Bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 20th April 2021. This bill seeks to establish Federal College of Agriculture, Kirikasamba, Jigawa State to provide full-time courses, teaching instructions and training in agriculture and carry out its due administration and management. The Orthopedic Hospitals Management Board Act, Amendment Bill 2021, House Bill 1284, was read the first time today, Tuesday, 6 July 2021. This bill seeks to amend the Orthopedic Hospitals Management Board Act, laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to provide for the establishment of orthopedic hospitals, Benin, Edo State, and Jalingo, Taraba State, under the control of Orthopedic Hospitals Management Board and affiliated to the University of Benin Teaching Hospital and University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital to provide for special services, specialized orthopedic treatment and medical services, respectively. The Chartered Institute of Public Administration of Nigeria Establishment Bill 2021 was read the first time on Wednesday, 30th September 2020. This bill seeks to establish Chartered Institute of Public Administration of Nigeria to be charged with the responsibility for registration of persons seeking to be public administrators and for the promotion, study, and practice of the profession of public administration. The bill on the Nigerian Film Commission Bill 2021 was read the first time on Tuesday, 1st June 2021, and this bill seeks to repeal the Nigerian Film Corporation Act, Cap 109, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the Nigerian Film Commission Bill 2021 to regulate and develop the film industry in Nigeria. The Federal College of Education Special Bindunkudu Establishment Bill 2021 was read the first time on Tuesday, 23rd March 2021. This bill seeks to establish the Federal College of Education Special Bindunkudu, Jigawa State, to provide full-time courses, teaching instructions, and training in technology, applied science, arts, social science, humanities, and management. Mr. President, my highly respected colleagues, these bills were passed by both chambers of National Assembly. They were straightforward and have gone through the necessary legislative processes in the House of Representatives. I therefore urge you all to support the second reading of these bills so that we can refer them to the Committee of the Whole for close-by-close consideration. I so submit, my colleagues, Mr. President.
Any comments? Leader, is there any comments? Okay, I'll put the question now. Those in favor that these bills be now read a second time, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the Federal College of Agriculture, Kirikasama, Jigawa State, to provide full-time courses, teaching instructions, and training in agriculture and carry out is due administration and management and for related matters 2021, second reading, HB 382. Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to amend the Orthopedic Hospitals Management Board Act Cap 010 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 to provide for the establishment of the Orthopedic Hospitals Benin, Edo State and Jalingo, Taraba State and for related matters 2021, second reading HB 1284. Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to establish the Chartered Institute of Public Administration of Nigeria and to make provisions, among other things, for membership and control of the profession of public administration and for related matters 2021, second reading, SB 329. Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to repeal the Nigerian Film Corporation Act, Cap number 109, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and to enact the Nigerian Film Commission Act to regulate and develop the film industry in Nigeria and for related matters 2021, second reading, SB 324. Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to establish the Federal College of Education Special, Birnin Kudu, Jigawa State, to provide full-time courses, teaching and instruction, and training in technology, applied sciences, arts, social sciences, humanities, and management, and for related matters 2021, second reading, HB 169.
A bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the Federal College of Agriculture, Krika-Sama, Jigawa State, to provide full-time courses, teaching instructions and training in agriculture and carry out its due administration and management, and for related matters 2021, second reading taken. A bill for an act to amend the Orthopedic Hospitals Management Board Act Cap 010, Laws 010, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 to provide for the establishment of the Orthopedic Hospitals Benin, Edo State and Jalingo, Taraba State, and for related matters 2021, second reading taken. A bill for an act to establish the Chartered Institute of Public Administration of Nigeria and to make provisions, among other things, for membership and control of the profession of public administration and for related matters 2021, second reading taken. A bill for an act to repeal the Nigerian Film Corporation Act, Cap N109, Laws for the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the Nigerian Film Commission Act to regulate and develop the film industry in Nigeria and for related matters 2021, second reading taken. A bill for an act to establish the Federal College of Education Special, Birnin Kudu, Jigawa State, to provide full-time courses, teaching instruction and training in technology, applied sciences, arts, social sciences, humanities and management, and for related matters 2021, second reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, in accordance with our Order 81, I will move a motion for the bills to be referred to the Committee of the Whole. I so move.
Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion that the Senate resolves into Committee of the Whole to consider the reports on this bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Distinguished colleagues, we start with bill for the establishment of Federal College of Agriculture, Krika-Sama. These bills have been worked on by our colleagues in the House of Representatives, and they are also very straightforward bills. And this particular bill has 23 clauses. So those in favor that clauses 1 to 5 stand part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Those in favor that those clauses stand part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Those in favor that clauses 11 to 15 stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that clauses 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20 stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that clauses 23, that clause 23 stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that the interpretation stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that the short title stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that the schedule stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that the explanatory memorandum stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that the long title stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. The next bill, the report on the Orthopedic Hospitals Management Board Act amendment. And this bill has only 4 clauses. So those in favor that clauses 1 and 2 stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that clauses 2 and 4 stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that the short title stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that the explanatory memorandum stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that the long title stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. The next bill is the bill to establish the Chartered Institute of Public Administration and has 24 clauses. Those who are at clauses 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those who are at clauses 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those who are at clauses 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those who are at clauses 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20 stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that clauses 21, 22, 23, and 24 stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that the interpretation stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that the short title stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that the schedule stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that the explanatory memorandum stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that the long title stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. The next bill is the Nigerian Film Corporation Act and has 20 clauses. Those in favor that clauses 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that clauses 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that clauses 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that clauses 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20 stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that the short title stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that the interpretation stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that the schedule stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that the explanatory memorandum stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that the long title stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. And the last bill. The last bill on establishing the Federal College of Education, special Borno Kudu, and has 22 clauses. Those who are at clauses 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those who are at clauses 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those who are at clauses 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor of clauses 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20, stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor of clauses 21 and 22, stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor of the interpretation, stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor of the short title, stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor of the schedule, stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor of the explanatory memorandum on page 7, stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor of the long title, stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, I rise to move a motion for the chair to report progress.
Thank you, Mr. President. I so second.
Those in favor that the Senate reverse to plenary for the chair to report progress say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Distinguished colleagues, the Senate in the Committee of the Whole considered the Federal College of Agriculture, Krika-Sama, Jigawa State Establishment Bill 2021 and approved as follows. Long title as recommended, clauses 1 to 21 as recommended, interpretation as recommended, short title as recommended, schedule as recommended, explanatory memorandum as recommended. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? Thank you. The Senate also in the Committee of the Whole considered the Orthopedic Hospitals Management Board Act Amendment Bill 2021 and approved as follows. Long title as recommended, clauses 1 to 3 as recommended, short title as recommended, explanatory memorandum as recommended. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? Distinguished colleagues, the Senate in the Committee of the Whole also considered the Chartered Institute of Public Administration of Nigeria Establishment Bill 2021 and approved as follows. Long title as recommended, clauses 1 to 22 as recommended, interpretation as recommended, short title as recommended, schedules 1, 2, and 3 as recommended, explanatory memorandum as recommended. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? The Senate in the Committee of the Whole also considered the Nigeria Film Commission Bill 2021 and approved as follows. Long title as recommended, clauses 1 to 18 as recommended, interpretation as recommended, short title as recommended, schedule as recommended, explanatory memorandum as recommended. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? The Senate in the Committee of the Whole also considered the Federal College of Education Special Burnum Kudu Establishment Bill 2021 and approved as follows. Long title as recommended, clauses 1 to 20 as recommended, interpretation as recommended, short title as recommended, schedule as recommended, explanatory memorandum as recommended. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? Leader of the Senate. No.
President, I rise to move the motion that these bills be read the third time. I so.
Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion that these bills be now read the third time, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the Federal College of Agriculture, Krika-Sama, Jigawa State, to provide full-time courses, teaching, instruction, and training in agriculture, and carry out its due administration and management, and for related matters 2021, third reading. Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to amend the Orthopedic Hospitals Management Act, Cap 010, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to provide for the establishment of the Orthopedic Hospital Benin, Edo State, and Jalingo, Taraba State, and for related matters 2021, SB 1284, third reading. Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to establish the Chartered Institute of Public Administration of Nigeria and to make provisions, among other things, for membership and control of the profession of public administration and for related matters 2021 SB 329, third reading. Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to repeal the Nigerian Film Corporation Act, CAF 109, laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the Nigerian Film Commission Act to regulate and develop the film industry in Nigeria, and for related matters 2021, SB 324, third reading. Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to establish the Federal College of Education Special, Benin Code, Jigawa State, to provide full-time courses, teaching instruction, and training in technology, applied sciences, art, social sciences, humanities, and management for related matters 2021, SB 169, third reading.
Distinguished colleagues, a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the Federal College of Agriculture, Kirika Sama, Jigawa State, to provide full-time courses, teaching instructions and training in agriculture and carry out its due administration and management, and for related matters 2021, third reading taken, and the bill is passed. A bill for an act to amend the Orthopedic Hospitals Management Board Act Cap 010 laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 to provide for the establishment of orthopedic hospitals Benin, Edo State, and Jalingo, Taraba State, and for related matters 2021, third reading taken, and the bill is passed. Distinguished colleagues, a bill for an act to establish the Chartered Institute of Public Administration of Nigeria and to make provisions, among other things, for membership and control of the profession of public administration and for related matters 2021, third reading, and the bill is passed. A bill for an act to repeal the Nigerian Film Corporation Act Cap N109, laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the Nigerian Film Commission Act to regulate and develop the film industry in Nigeria, and for related matters 2021, third reading taken, and the bill is passed. A bill for an act to establish the Federal College of Education Special, Burunkudu, Jigawa State, to provide full-time courses, teaching, instruction, and training in technology, applied sciences, arts, social sciences, humanities, and management, and for related matters 2021, third reading is taken, and the bill is also passed. Congratulations, Leader. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, having concluded today's proceedings on the order paper, I hereby do respectfully move that this distinguished Senate do adjourn till Wednesday, 7th July 2021 at 10 a.m. prompt. I so move.
The Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I reluctantly.
Thank you very much, distinguished colleagues. Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion that this Senate now adjourns till tomorrow, 7th day of July 2021 at 10 a.m. prompt, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. The Senate is hereby adjourned till tomorrow, Wednesday, 7th day of July 2021 at 10 a.m. prompt. Thank you.